I spent my life savings turning our basement into a music studio for my wife. 2 days after the grand reveal, I came home early and heard her giggle. It's perfect, now my producer boyfriend can move in. I stood in the stairwell listening as she mocked my voice, my dreams, my worth. I didn't say a word. I just left the deed on the kitchen table and disappeared. Last night, she was screaming outside my sister's house, holding a guitar and begging me to talk. Please, you can't mean this. She didn't hear me come in. I stood at the top of the basement stairs, hidden in the darkness, still holding the grocery bag with the champagne she asked for. Below me, lit by the soft LED glow I spent 2 months wiring into the ceiling, she sat on the new studio couch with some guy I didn't recognize. He was wearing my hoodie. It's perfect, she giggled, kicking her bare feet up onto the mixing console I nearly electrocuted myself installing. Now my producer boyfriend can move in. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then she did the voice. My voice. Mocking. Hey babe, I finally figured out how to balance your vocal track. Took me 7 hours and 2 panic attacks. They both howled with laughter. My wife and this stranger. My wife, who cried when I handed her the ribbon-wrapped keys to the studio 2 days ago. You believed in me more than I ever did, she said. I don't deserve you. Apparently, she was right. I backed up the stairs silently. Dropped the groceries on the counter without a sound. Pulled the deed out of the junk drawer, still not notarized, and left it on the table with a pen. Then I walked out. That was 6 weeks ago. Last night, she was outside my sister's house at 2:17 a.m. clutching a guitar like a child holds a teddy bear, mascara streaked down to her collarbones. Please, she sobbed, banging her fists on the door, please, you can't mean this. But I do. And the worst part? I haven't even started. Let me take you back. I was the guy who tried. That's all I ever did. Try. Tried to be the supportive husband while she bounced through 4 different careers in 6 years. Tried to smile when she said she was finding herself in Guatemala for a month on our emergency savings. Tried to forgive the minor things, canceled anniversaries, phone calls from male friends at 2 a.m., little lies that didn't add up. Because she was an artist. Because creativity needs freedom. Because I was supposed to hold space for her dreams. So I did. I gave her the whole damn basement. Ripped up old asbestos tiles, replaced wiring that hadn't been touched since 1978. Every penny of my savings, every spare hour after my job at the university went into turning that cave into a professional-grade studio. She watched, mostly. Sometimes brought me lemonade and took selfies for Instagram, hubby hard at work. #dream big. The night I finished it, she cried. Or pretended to. She said, this is everything I ever wanted. Then 2 days later she called him everything she ever needed. The first betrayal was the laugh. You don't forget that. Your own voice, warped, turned into a cartoon joke. I didn't confront her. I didn't scream. I didn't ask questions. I just disappeared. Moved into my late mother's abandoned rental 3 towns over. Mold in the corners. No heat. Just a mattress on the floor and a space heater that smells like burning dust. Perfect place for a man to disintegrate. Except I didn't. I took something with me. The hard drive. You see, I installed a server rack in that studio. Top-end gear. Redundant backups. But the master archive? That lived on a small, solid-state drive hidden behind the vent. Labeled old taxes. She thought it was just storing songs. It wasn't. I didn't just build her a studio. I made it smart. Full audio surveillance. Motion-triggered video in every corner masked as aesthetic LED light strips. Infrared mics sensitive enough to pick up a whisper through drywall. I didn't do it out of suspicion. I did it because she asked. Said she wanted to review her process. Said it would help her grow as an artist. So I recorded everything. Even her first kiss with him. Even her fake orgasm during their studio sessions. Even the phone call to her friend Maya where she laughed and said, he thinks this place is for me. I'm just gonna let Damien use it until we get his album out, then we're gone. I listened to that 10 times. Her voice changed midway. The same tone she used to win sympathy. He's sweet, but he's just so small. Like, emotionally. I have to shrink myself around him. It's exhausting. Shrink myself. That's what she called it when I got her groceries and she forgot to say thank you. Shrink myself. When I gave her space to explore polyamory and she told me if I asked questions I was abusing her boundaries. Shrink myself. When I spent 9 hours building acoustic paneling and she said, honestly, I liked it better before. Less echo why. I used to think I was being patient. Now I think I was being erased. Here's the part where I admit something uncomfortable. I didn't leave because of the affair. I left because it made sense. Like a puzzle piece clicking into place. Suddenly, all the inconsistencies were a pattern. All the excuses were a script. All the affection was a means to an end. She was never building a future with me. She was building an exit plan. And the part that makes me want to claw through my own skin? She didn't even need me to finish it. I was just cheaper than a Kickstarter. So I vanished. And she panicked. Not right away. At first, she posted sad ukulele songs on Instagram, tagged me in passive-aggressive memes, called mutual friends to check in without ever asking where I went. But then the utilities started bouncing. Then the studio door locked her out. Then she realized I had legally put the entire house under a shell company 6 months earlier for tax reasons. And then the producer boyfriend found the cameras. But not all of them. Not the one behind the monitor. Not the one with the footage of him used my towel in the grossest way after laughing about cuck energy. Not the one that caught her saying, honestly, I could fake tears and he'd believe me completely. That last one? That's the one I copied 3 times. Once to a lawyer. Once to a journalist friend. And once to a Dropbox folder labeled if I die. I'm not out for revenge. I'm out for removal. I don't want to hurt her. I want her out of the story. Not physically, socially, and emotionally. I want every story she tells about me to be doubted. Every tweet to be second-guessed. Every room she walks into to go slightly silent. Because she taught me something. Charisma is just well-practiced cruelty. And now? So is mine. Update 1. She started emailing me 5 days after I vanished. Subject lines like, "Can we talk? Please don't shut me out. This isn't you." I didn't open any of them. Just watched the subject lines pile up like rotting flowers on a grave no one visits. Then came the voice notes. She figured I'd block her number, so she started texting voice messages to my sister, knowing they'd get forwarded. The first one was weepy, breathless. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean any of it like that. Damien was just, he made me feel seen in a way you didn't. Seen. Like I was the fog she had to squint through to find herself." The second voice note was angrier. "This isn't fair. You can't just disappear. What are people supposed to think?" Ah, there it was. Not "I miss you." Not "I love you." Just panic about the narrative slipping out of her hands. She started posting on social media the next day. A close-up of our wedding photo. "Love is complicated. Healing is non-linear. Please respect our privacy." She turned off comments. 2 days later, a black screen, white text. "I am safe. Please don't speculate." She tagged me. A few people messaged me screenshots asking if I was okay. I told them nothing. The silence wasn't just strategy. It was surgery. Every post she made? More desperate. More performative. She started resharing trauma posts, abuse hotlines, vague allusions to emotional neglect. I didn't need to say a word. I just let her spiral into her own echo chamber. Then came the party. Her birthday. I'd marked it on the calendar out of habit. Apparently she still held it at the studio. Yes, my studio. I only know because one of the neighbors who'd always liked me better texted a photo. 12 people. Fairy lights, red wine, her barefoot in a silk robe like some kind of spiritual heiress. Captioned, "Rebirth." Except one thing stood out. The speakers were off. The lights? Dim. The vibe? Wrong. Like a party held on haunted ground. And then, buried in the background of one of the selfies, barely visible, a scrap of paper taped to the stairwell door. Out of order. Electrical issue. I smiled. Because I knew exactly what happened. 2 nights prior, I'd revoked admin privileges to the smart system. The entire studio is locked down. Audio doesn't route. Lights flicker randomly. Climate control goes from freezing to oven in 15 minutes. It's like living inside a malfunctioning spaceship. The kicker? She doesn't know how to fix it. Because the wiring isn't standard. Because I never taught her. Because, in the end, she never wanted to learn. So now she's got her producer boyfriend, her guest list of half-friends, her glass of boxed red. But no music. No magic. Just a shrine built on borrowed bones. And that's when it happened. She started messaging people I knew. A mutual from college met me. "Hey, is everything okay? Allison's telling people you're unstable." Apparently, she's rewriting history faster than I can document it. Says I was obsessively controlling, that I weaponized kindness, that she claimed I emotionally influenced her too much. And the thing is? It's working. Some people believe her. Because she's good. Tears on cue. Righteous tremble in her voice. Vulnerability as a battering ram. But here's the twist. I'm not fighting her. I'm archiving her. Every voice memo. Every text. Every post. I'm collecting it, timestamping it, tagging it. Not for court. Not for revenge. For context. So that one day when someone new Googles her name and sees the carefully crafted persona, there's another layer waiting. Subtle. Buried. But undeniable. Like a fingerprint she can't scrub off. I've learned something in this silence. The absence of defense is a statement. When someone screams into a void and nothing screams back, people start to wonder. Start to ask questions. Start to remember the cracks in her story. That's when the messages change tone. Her voice notes stopped sounding angry. Started sounding small. One of them barely a whisper. "You made me feel like maybe I wasn't a fraud." Another. "I hear things in the studio when I'm alone. Like clicks. Like static. Is that you? Are you still there?" She's unraveling. Not because of what I did. Because of what I didn't do. I didn't defend myself. I didn't try to get her back. I didn't chase. I just let the silence fill the room she tried to repurpose. And now? Every song she records feels haunted. Because it is. Because she knows somewhere in the circuitry I'm still listening. Maybe not literally. Maybe not anymore. But she feels it. The presence of someone who no longer needs to be seen by her to see her. She said I was emotionally small. She said I didn't take up space. And now? Now I am the space. Every corner of that studio breathes my memory. And the man she thought she could shrink? He learned to become air. Unavoidable. Everywhere. And absolutely silent. Next update coming soon. Tell me, should I let her fall on her own sword? Or just hand her a sharper one? Update 2. I didn't plan the visit. I just found myself parked outside the studio at 3:44 a.m., headlights off, watching the upstairs window glow. That sickly purple she always insisted sparked creativity. It was flickering. Like a failing pulse. I didn't go in. Just watched. Through the window, I could see Damien pacing in boxers, phone pressed to his ear, waving one hand like he was trying to summon coherent thought from the haze. She sat on the floor, cross-legged, head in her hands. No music. No laughter. Just a still life of a dream decaying in real time. The next morning, I emailed myself a draft of a Dropbox folder. Titled it, Echo Chamber. Inside, screenshots of every Instagram caption where she rewrote our history. Audio clips of her mocking me, mocking my job, mocking the studio she now lives in like a squatter wearing stolen shoes. Text threads between her and Damien, he's sweet, but I can't connect with sci-fi references and guilt. Voice memos from our last month together where she claimed she needed space but then begged me to cover her credit card bill because it's all one team, right? It's not revenge porn. It's a case study. A map of corrosion. I haven't shared it. Yet. Because the more I wait, the more I learn. Turns out her producer boyfriend? Has a wife. Found her on LinkedIn. Art therapist. Specializes in post-infidelity trauma. Poetic. I messaged her. Didn't say who I was. Just sent a 2-second clip. Her husband's voice, don't worry about him, he's a doormat with a debit card. She hasn't responded. But I saw her Facebook status change to separated 3 days later. So that's something. I started going to bars again. Not to meet people. To listen. It's amazing how much gossip floats between mutual friends when they think you're a stranger. She's spiraling, man. Shows up late to open mics, cries during her own sets. Apparently he stopped sleeping in the studio. Says it feels like being watched. Dude, she made him wear the husband's old flannel. I saw it. Literal skinwalking. The stories aren't always accurate. But the tone? It's changing. Sympathy is curdling. Pity is giving way to suspicion. And suspicion? That's a virus. It spreads. Last week, I saw she started a GoFundMe. Rebuilding after emotional abuse. Help me turn pain into purpose. I didn't donate. I just reported it. Category, fraud. Reason, using fabricated abuse allegations for personal gain. 3 days later, it was gone. No announcement. No farewell post. Just erased. Like it never happened. She knows it was me. She posted a photo of her own face, crying again, captioned. Why do some people only know how to destroy? She turned comments off. Smart girl. But the thing is, I haven't destroyed anything. Not yet. I've just declined to rescue. And when someone's entire identity is built on being forgiven, being pitied, being saved, silence feels like murder. She's tried contacting my sister again. Voicemails. Crying. Apologizing. Can you just tell him I'm not a monster? He loved me once, right? Tell him I'm not a monster. My sister doesn't respond. She just forwards them to me. Every one more frantic than the last. Today I got something new. An envelope. Hand-delivered. No return address. Inside, a flash drive. And a note. One line, written in her handwriting, shaky as a lie mid-collapse. If you want me to disappear, I will. I haven't opened the drive. Not yet. Part of me wants to. Part of me wants to burn it. The bigger part? Wants to wait. Because this isn't about the affair anymore. It's about something uglier. She needs me to define her. Villain. Victim. Martyr. Muse. Doesn't matter which. Just pick one. Because silence? Silence erases her entirely. And that's the only outcome she truly fears. Not public shame. Not even consequence. Just obscurity. Because people like her only matter when they're being watched. So maybe I will open the flash drive. Maybe I'll find another performance, another monologue wrapped in a suicide threat she'll never follow through on. Or maybe, just maybe, it's real. And then I have to ask myself, do I let her go? Or do I let her stay? Because maybe the worst punishment for someone who craves narrative is to be left wandering an unfinished story. Still deciding. Update 3 soon. But tell me, what would you do with the flash drive? Update 3. I waited 7 days before plugging in the flash drive. Let it sit on the counter like a cursed object. I wanted to see if not touching it would change her behavior. It did. No calls. No messages. No cryptic social media posts. Just absence. And that, more than anything, made me nervous. She's never been still in her life. I finally opened it in the university media lab on a clean workstation with no network access. Just in case. Inside the drive? One folder. Labeled, forgive_me_final. Inside that? 9 files. 7 were .mp4s. 1.txt. 1.pdf. I started with the text file. A transcript. Of a voicemail I never received. Timestamped 3 days before she left the flash drive. She says, I don't know who I am without the audience. I think I made you a villain because I needed someone worse than me in the room. I didn't believe love could be quiet, so I mistook your silence for neglect. Then, if you want me gone, I'll go. If you want me to disappear from town, from music, from myself, I will. Just let me know. I didn't move. Didn't blink. I went to the videos. First one, footage from her bedroom. She's packing a suitcase, folding clothes in slow, mechanical movements. The camera is propped up on a chair. Half the frame is empty. The room looks like a set between takes. She's crying, but only intermittently. Stops to check her eyeliner twice. Next video, a direct address. No makeup. Hair in a mess of curls. She's on the floor. You were right. I was using you. But I think I believed I wasn't because I thought I deserved everything you gave me. Like my pain earned me credit. Then she laughs. Once. Dry. And when you took it away, I didn't feel punished. I felt erased. Pause. You didn't break my heart. You deleted my script. There's a pause. Then she says, I wish you had screamed. The rest of the videos are pieces of a performance. Not songs. Not apologies. Just moments. Her sitting in the empty studio, flipping light switches on and off. Her reading old texts I sent her, aloud, like audition monologues. One clip where she plays both parts of a fight we never had, her voice versus a cartoon version of mine. Until her voice falters and she stops. No one's watching, she mutters. There's no one left to hate me properly. And that hit? Because that's what this was. Not guilt. Not remorse. Not love. Loneliness. She built an entire mythology around being mistreated. Needed it. Thrived in it. And when I refused to play my part when I left the stage, she lost the plot. And now? Now she's begging me to end it. To give her a proper finish. A villain to defeat. Or die running from. And here's what I realized watching her unravel like an actress forgetting her lines. I don't have to destroy her. I just have to close the curtain. So I sent her one thing. A blank email. Subject line, goodbye. No body text. No signature. No indication of what I meant. She responded in 13 minutes. Which kind of goodbye? I didn't answer. And for the first time in our entire relationship, she didn't follow up. It's been 4 days. Silence. I've heard through a friend that she canceled all her gigs. Deleted her artist website. Shut down every social account except one, an empty Instagram with a black profile picture and 0 posts. Her name? Gone from Google. Unlinked from her past projects. It's like she never existed. And maybe that's what she wanted. Or maybe it's what she feared most. Doesn't matter. Because I've already moved out of the rental. Signed a lease upstate. Small house. Big sky. Closest neighbors a quarter mile away. No internet yet. Just time and tools and silence. Perfect for someone who's learning to speak without permission again. I left the hard drives in a safety deposit box. Not out of paranoia. Out of ritual. A reminder. Not of her. Of me. Of what I became. Of what I could become again if I'm not careful. This isn't a happy ending. There's no redemption arc. No reconciliation montage. No second chance song playing as the credits roll. Just this. The absence of noise. The shape of my life without her inside it. The quiet. And the terrifying realization that I kind of like it. No more waiting for screams. No more reacting to shadows. Just the space to be alone, honestly. And the echo of her final question. Which kind of goodbye? I still don't know. But I know this. If she ever tries to come back, there's nothing left to return to. Because I'm not the man she remembers. I'm not the man she created. I'm the silence between versions. And that's the last role I'll ever play. Final update. It's been a year. I didn't think I'd ever write this. But sometimes the story doesn't end. It just gets quiet enough to forget it's still happening. Then it knocks. It was a Thursday. I was sanding down an old door on the porch salvaged from a farmhouse set to be demolished. The wind smelled like pine and cold metal. A car I didn't recognize pulled into the end of the driveway. Windows tinted. Engine idling too long. The kind of hesitation that means someone's rewriting their speech before stepping out. I didn't move. I just watched. Eventually, the door opened. She stepped out. I almost didn't recognize her. She looked smaller. Not physically, but compressed. Like someone had vacuum sealed her personality. No makeup. No guitar. Just jeans, boots, and a manila envelope tucked under one arm. She walked halfway up the gravel before stopping. Didn't speak. Didn't wave. Just stood there like someone posing for a final portrait they didn't want taken. I didn't say her name. Didn't invite her closer. We just stood in that brittle wind, staring. Then she raised the envelope and dropped it on the ground. Turned. Got back in the car. Drove off. I didn't pick it up right away. I finished sanding the door first. Hung it on the new greenhouse frame. Had lunch. Took a walk. Let the envelope sit under the trees until the moon came up and the dew bled through the corners. Then I brought it inside. Inside, 2 things. A signed notarized letter legally transferring all rights to the studio back to me, every asset, every piece of hardware, even the naming rights to her old band. A Polaroid. of a wall, covered in printed out screenshots. My texts, my photos, even stills from the studio footage, taped in chronological order, captioned in black marker. Truth or script? Nothing else. No note, no address, no name. Just that single question left hanging like a suicide threat with no follow-through. And here's the part one haven't told anyone. The wall in that Polaroid? It wasn't ours. It wasn't from the studio. I've looked at it a dozen times now, zoomed in on the edges, the plaster, the chipped outlet beneath the printouts. I know where it is. It's my old childhood bedroom. The one I grew up in. The one I haven't set foot in since I left home at 18. I don't know how she got in. I don't know when she took the photo. My parents live 2 states away. I haven't spoken to them in 5 years. The house is empty now, vacant, on the market. But that Polaroid was recent. The ink still smelled fresh. There's no message, no threat, no apology. Just proof that she was there. That she built a shrine to our story. In the room where I built myself. And now? Now I sleep with the porch light on. Not because I'm scared, but because part of me wonders if she's still writing the script. Still rehearsing. Still waiting for her cue. I told myself this ended when she left town. When she deleted everything. When I rebuilt my life out here. But maybe people like her don't end. Maybe they pause. Fade out between acts. Wait for the right lighting. And maybe I'm not her villain or her victim anymore. Maybe I'm just her audience. Maybe that's what I've always been. I burned the Polaroid last night. Didn't make a show of it. Just slid it into the wood stove and watched the flame kiss the corner, curl the edges, reduce her narrative to smoke. But I didn't burn the letter. That's filed away. Legal. Clean. Because sometimes the only way to kill a ghost is to prove it owed you rent. So that's it. No epilogue. No catharsis. Just me in a house no one knows, with locks no one has keys to, and a silence that feels heavier now than it did a year ago. Because it's not just silence. It's waiting. And if she ever returns, it won't be with a scream. It'll be with a whisper. And I'll still be listening. Even if I don't respond. Even if I pretend I'm free. Because some stories don't end. They just go underground. And keep writing themselves through you. One word at a time. In the dark. Forever.